It's going down quick now, isn't it? The water's going down. I'm losing water. We good?
I'm losing water.
Come on, we on it.
Right, come on, get the water in. Come on,
Right,
Jake.
this couldn't be worse for this time of year, what we're going to on about.
No.
But we can't fake nothing, so this is what we come up with. We're going to have a demonstrative thing, just explaining ground.
I like your pole pot on Discordia. Yeah,
that's for doing that.
It's like what to do in what situations and what certainly what not to do.
Yes, thinking more about ground bait, isn't it? For F1s and cap on commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, not your active mixers that you need everywhere else, just for wintry commercials or summer commercials as well. Because one day we're going to fish on a mud line again. It's a distant memory from now, but it will happen.
The sun will be out like it will be now, though, won't it? You know what I mean?
It'll look like now, but we won't be wearing this many layers.
It's so cold.
So first, I've got to do it quick because my water's going down.
You need to put some more water in.
It's gone down fast this time, hasn't it? But first, I want to talk about crushed pellet because that's a big thing for me
You're
now.
mad for it, aren't you, crushed pellet?
Mega. It's so good to use as an attractor.
It opened my eyes. I know, obviously, you get away from F1s and car. It opened my eyes with the likes of skimmers that you're using it rather than I thought, well, natural bait for skimmers is a bit dark in that.
They like it because they're used to them. They're used to pellets, aren't they?
And it's what you're going to show me now, which is really interesting.
I'm going to fill it up really quickly.
Fill your tube up, Jamie.
Firstly, what we use as is just an attractor because I don't actually believe.
Oh, it's cold water.
Is it chilly? Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, quickly. First, I've got crushed pellet mix normally.
Yeah.
And I mix it really wet.
Yeah.
Like paste.
Yeah, I like the way you do yours.
So it's really as wet as possible. But that doesn't mean it gets to the bottom. Yeah, because what I do, I feed little tiny balls like this.
And he's not joking, folks. This is what he feeds.
It's a joke. So
when he told me
get that, yeah. How quick's that going down?
Quick.
Shocking taping up. That's all I'm feeding, yeah? Little tiny pieces. But when you put it in, you'll see, I'm hoping, it doesn't even get to the bottom. Yeah? So you can imagine, if I'm feeding it, I'm not feeding it in shallow water, I'm feeding it in what?
6
3,
foot, 5
4,
to 6
5
foot,
foot.
aren't you?
That's what, 2.5 foot. And
it's all these little bobby bits, isn't it? All these like little particles.
All
like
little diddy
fishing,
bits.
the skimmers, like my skimmer impression. And then they like follow your bait down, thump, it's on.
It's the attraction in it. Look, little bits all the way through, but not for them to eat.
Yes.
So you can use it as a lovely thing, just every other cast, if nothing's happening in your peg.
When you told me about feeding a little ball, I'm like, little ball? It's got to be like grapes, surely. That's a little bobby ball.
There's a little one.
Like, it wouldn't even fit in there, my little boy, you know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah,
look, like, that sounds
that's all it takes.
All right, Richard.
That little,
it's
you see,
nuts, mate.
You know what I mean? It pretty much barely gets to the bottom intact. By the time it gets to the bottom, there's nearly nothing there.
There'd be nothing there. As I said, that's what, 2 foot, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 foot. So we're feeding it double that.
Yeah.
There's not a chance it's ever getting to the bottom, is it? Look, it's just...
But it's that attraction, isn't it? And obviously you can imagine like your bigger hook bait, maggot, whatever, in amongst that, it's just that attraction. You're not feeding the fish up.
Yes, exactly. And
on it, you, Jamie.
If you want to get to the bottom, then I've got some more mixed that is pretty much paste. Yeah? Absolute paste, like pretty much really over-wetted. And you see when that goes in, it goes in and goes all the way down and makes a much... You know what I mean? A lower bottom cloud. It doesn't leave it all up here.
You said lower bottom cloud.
It gets it to the bottom
obviously
instead.
that stage, when the ground bait's on the bottom, that's when fish are coming in over it, mooching
around.
When
I want something to be on the bottom.
Definitely.
If I want to fish crushed pellets on the bottom in deep water, yeah, then it's going in like paste like that.
Yeah, I like that.
See, my lump gets to the bottom then.
Yeah.
And doesn't leave all that. But you can use it in 2 very clever ways without feeding bait. So I'm actually using ground bait in that case as an attractor. But I generally feed it 50-50 with micros. And if I'd put them in, I should have done some micros, you see them separating. Like within 2 foot, the micros come out of the ground bait. If you mix them together.
So you get like 2 different columns, micros going down quicker? Or?
Your bait goes all the way to the bottom, your micros, because obviously they're micros. But you get that little flutter of your ground bait. So there's no ground bait on bottom.
What's that, like a 50-50 mix or something?
Yeah, just, you know what I mean, bodge together.
So prepare your micros first and then put that in?
Well, I do them separate, don't I? And I add them as we go through the day. So I might put a pinch of micros onto my thing.
To be fair, folks.
But yeah, I mean, use your ground bait just as an attractor, so there's no ground bait accumulating on the bottom.
It's definitely made a difference since I've started doing it, 100%.
Huge. It drags them in. Massive thing for the winter. For stockies, not really for big F1s, but stocky skimmers, the joke.
Yeah, man.
Because you're feeding without feeding.
Yeah.
And I like being negative. So anyway, next, we're going to forget about that. We're going to brush through it very quickly.
Feeding without feeding.
Yeah,
I get you, because it's broken up by the time you get there.
Next, we're on about nowhere near yet to say you're mudlining fishing.
Yeah.
And mixing your ground bait right, because I see it loads. I've seen it loads at partridges, the one. That if your ground bait's wrong, it's not doing what you want it to do. It's not staying where you want it.
How difficult is it when you mix it wrong? I mean, obviously you can't get it right, but it's the fact that you get so many fish there because you're drawing them from everywhere. Because if your mix is wrong, it's so light. It's just bringing. It's just ridiculous.
Disturbs the the trap done it, and that's that. So I'm going to feed 1 cup.
Is this the wrong one?
This is the wrong one. This is just mixed.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just mixed too dry.
Yeah.
So if you put a cup of dry ground bait
It's more like a feeder mix, this, isn't it? Like you'd have a feeder.
yeah, sort of.
You know
Just
what I mean?
a light mix, and if you put that in and expect it to get to the bottom, let me just do that. Get out, you bugger. Yeah. So you're putting that in, expecting that to see what it's done. It's like explodes on the bottom. Yeah, and that's only in what? What are you going to give me there? 10 inch, 12 inch?
12 inch, yeah. So obviously that's spread out over what? I'm going to say 6 inch square.
Massive,
in that
isn't it?
depth. Obviously, most of your mudline fishing is going to be in up to 18 inches, isn't it? Imagine that. That's just going to expand out even more in the deeper water.
But it's a mess, isn't it? It's not a tight pile.
No.
A fish has got what on the bottom to feed? 10 inch square. Yeah, completely different. When instead, by having a much more stodgy mix,
You are J lad.
which that one is, same ground bait, exactly the same, just mixed with twice as much water.
Yeah.
So it is wet sand and then pushed through a riddle.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm going to get that. Yeah, where you get a lump going all the way to the deck.
Poink.
Yeah, still a bit of cloud, but
Well, I
look
think
how
you need that
condensed
cloud
it
for
is.
attraction, yeah,
A
man.
little bit. You can almost can't avoid a little bit.
Yeah. So obviously
But
you're
see
up
how much
weight over
tighter
that.
it is.
Straight on it, innit?
Yeah.
I would put my hand in for you folks and like demonstrate a wafty fishy fin, but it's a little bit cold. But obviously that dryer mix, that'll just go everywhere. That'd pretty much stay in that ball even if it just moved a couple of inches as well, wouldn't it?
It's, yeah, what did Bagger call it? Is it a shoe footprint? Or he called it something else. But anyway, your footprint of bait on the bottom is that big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if a fish comes in and sucks it, because if a carp comes in peg, a proper one,
I don't want a fish sucking my toe, Jamie. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It'll eat all of it.
Yeah.
So if your bait's on top of that, you get a bite.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one you put in, that's a bit cloudy, a bit just spreads out a bit more. It's got to feed. It's the same method feeding thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got to feed off 4 or 5 places before they clear it up.
Yeah.
And if your bait's not in the first bit that they suck, because they don't have 4 or 5 goes, they have 1.
Yeah.
They go and then move out your
Especially them bigger, cleverer ones, that's when you get them bow waves, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
scared,
instantly,
one
come back, you've got to set it again, haven't you?
Yeah.
'Cause
But I think
obviously
the
it's gonna
really
do
clever ones, really clever ones, come in and waft it and don't eat anything. But there's no way of fixing them.
No,
They're just a
they're just
nightmare.
like
That
big
definitely
ones.
happens later in the year. But you can see it's subtle, really subtle. You see on the bottom, but it's half the area. Just thinking about that.
Yeah.
So that's basically it for your commercial ground bait. There's no other ways of doing things for
No.
me. I mean, it's making sure it's mixed nice and wet if I want it to stay tight on the bottom. And then if you want it nice and dry, use it as an attractor only for through the water and not to be on the bottom.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you know what I mean? Keeps things really simple,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And you're not feeding the fish up either with it, are you? Certainly that one through the tubey one.
Not
There's
the-
nothing there.
Yeah, with your crushed
But
pellets
you're
now.
attracting fish. Maximum attractant and not feeding them up.
Yes,
like
you just have to be careful because they like coming off the bottom.
Oh, I want it even more so now then, Jay. Come on, get magpies in.
It is. But yeah, nice little one, but that is thinking a bit more depth about commercially feeding of ground bait, isn't it?
Love it, Jay, lad.
All over my coat, the bestest coat in the world.
There's the greatest code
Greatest coat in the world.
This is the greatest code in the world.
This is just a tribute.
No, it's just a make-up.
No, it is. It's good, that one. It's like being inside a sheep in so many different ways.
Oh, is that the proper warm one?
Mate, it's amazing.
Yes, he did say that.